this, he puts his head down and he starts sobbing. He's calling me a disgrace. He's telling me that I let down the family. I'm the black sheep. I never listened. I just made the biggest mistake of my life. All the worst things that I never wanted to hear, but I had to hear them. And after all the family reunions, going to my family, seeing my cousins, everybody saying, Matt, what's wrong with you? Why did you drop out of school? When are you gonna go back? When are you gonna quit this entrepreneurship thing? When are you gonna go and find a real job? All my friends saying the same thing, right? People talking, I wasn't learning how to be a leader. I wasn't learning how to sell. I wasn't learning how to, raise capital and negotiate and recruit and, come up with systems. Like I wasn't getting taught how to be an entrepreneur. I was getting taught how to be an employee for somebody else, right? Not live a life to work and pay bills, but live a life to live and feel fulfilled and contribute and serve. Boom, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt Chima. If this is the first time you tune into this channel, do me a favor, hit that little subscribe button below, turn that bell icon on, and so when I post videos like this, you can watch it in real time with me and we can connect with one another. We want to build a dope ass community here of people that are like-minded, people that want to go and pursue excellence in every area of their life. And today I'm going to talk about how I got started on this journey. And a big part of my life, a big part of the past few years that's helped me, skyrocket down this journey was my decision to leave college and pursue entrepreneurship full time. Now I'll tell you the story of how that all happened and where I am now and why I decided to make that decision. So it all started when I was a kid, right? I believe that when we're children, when we're 4, 5, 6 years old, I want you to close your eyes for a minute and think back to that time. What was that giant dream that you had inside of yourself? What was that, you could call it God-sized dream that you just wanted to pursue? When we're kids, think about how imaginative we are, right? We want to do so many things. We think everything is possible until we start growing up and society starts putting limits on us. We get told by our parents, no. We get told by our friends, you can't do this. Our teachers program us, right? We get told all these limitations and all of a sudden we're 20, 25, 30 years old. We're insecure. We're, depressed. We're unhappy. We're questioning what life is all about. And we don't even realize that we are limitless beings who have placed limits on ourselves. And we have to go about unlearning that process. And so back to the story, that was a little tangent there because I get a little spiritual sometimes. But my dream when I was a kid is I wanted to be a professional NHL player. I wanted to be on the Vancouver Canucks. I'm born and raised in Vancouver, Canada. And I started playing hockey when I was 5, 6 years old. So as soon as I got on the ice, I was skidding around as a little boy. That was what I wanted to do. I looked up to these guys. I wanted to be like them. I played hockey for over a decade. And so fast forward to when I was about 15, 16 years old in high school, that window that I had, right? That dream started to get smaller and that window started to close. And what happened was I started to realize that I wasn't going to make it to where I wanted to go. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't that player. I wasn't that top prospect that could make it to the big leagues. And what happens for most people, whether it's when you're 15 or 16, when you're 8, or when you're 28, pardon me, that dream that we have, it starts to die. And when that dream dies, what usually happens is we start to settle on, right? We want to fit in now. We all of a sudden care about what other people think, and we're worried about, doing something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. And so we find a role in society that we just want to fill, and it's probably a lot of the time not our ideal position to be in life. It doesn't fuel us. It doesn't wake us up excited. It's not our passion. And so for me, I started to get led down that path, right? I was told, by my parents, I had no other choice but to go to school, right? So, my options were lawyer, doctor, engineer, right? That's what I had to do. I had to go and get a degree and then go and get a job. And I remember when I had to have been, just finishing grade 12. I'm 18 years old. And I remember looking up online when I was a youngin', right? Because that dream of being a hockey player died. But I told myself, just because that dream died does not mean I'm not going to live that life. It does not mean that I'm not going to be significant out there. It does not mean that I'm going to do something great. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be free, right? To me, freedom means being able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, and there's absolutely no limit on when I want to do all those things. That's what wealth and abundance and opportunity can do for somebody, is to really live a life, right? Not live a life to work and pay bills, but live a life to live and feel fulfilled and contribute and serve and do things that fill up our hearts. And so I started to ask myself, what's that next dream for me? And I started to realize that it was people that were in business that were doing that. It was people that were entrepreneurs, people that were finding ways to bring value to society, people that were starting businesses, making a difference out there. And so I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just remember looking up as an 18-year-old how to be a millionaire in my 20s, because I thought that was a cool thing to do. And so I ended up getting, pushed into school. I said, you know what, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to take business, because at least I know that I want to be in business and that I want to do something cool like that with my life. And so I get into college when I'm 19 and I'm in business, I'm studying, and all of a sudden I realized that none of the material that I was learning was leading me on how to do that. I wasn't learning how to be a leader. I wasn't learning how to sell. I wasn't learning how to, raise capital and negotiate and recruit and, come up with systems. Like I wasn't getting taught how to be an entrepreneur. I was getting taught how to be an employee for somebody else. Now, if that's what you want to do in life, if that's your cup of tea and that fills you up, don't take any shame in that. But if you're in a position right now that somebody else told you to be in, whether it's your parents, your teachers, your friends, the people around you, whoever it may be, somebody online, it is okay to say, you know what? I've gone down this path, but I'm not going to keep going down. And I'm going to go and do something that I really want to do. Because think about it. How quick is our life here? We come and we go. We pop up, we pop out. It's not worth it to live somebody else's dream for you. You gotta go and live your own dream. And what helped me realize that was I got into school. I realized I wasn't learning any of the things that I needed to know to become successful. And all of a sudden I'm frustrated, right? I started looking around for opportunities. I noticed, there was opportunities to get involved in clubs and, this and that. And then finally, I was approached with an opportunity to work in the financial industry. I was recruited to be a life insurance agent, selling life insurance at 19 years old. You can imagine how that looked, right? I'm a 19-year-old. Quite soon after I started, I lost my car, so I couldn't even drive. I was busting around to meetings and seeing clients. Never had I sold anything before. Never had I known what life insurance was or what financial instruments were. And it was just something else. And I remember, I had no idea what I was doing, but I had a dream, man. Like I was just so fired up to go out there and crush it that I believed that I was gonna just take it all and just win. And so I made a decision. I said, you know what? This thing, I feel like I could take this on more than I could take school on. And so I'm gonna make a decision. My parents are gonna hate me for it, but I'm gonna show them that I made the right choice. And so I remember it's January 2018. I remember this day so clearly. It's January. I'm about to go into a new semester, at least my parents thought so. My dad comes into my room, sits down on my bed, asks me a question. He says, son, what classes are you taking this semester? I look at him. I'd rehearsed this in my mind a couple times because I knew it was going to come up eventually. I said, Dad, with my little bratty 19-year-old self, Dad, I'm not taking any this semester. He looks at me, right? He's like, what? What do you mean you're not taking any this semester? I said, Dad, I'm not going back to school. I stood my ground. One of the first times I, really stood up to my father in a situation like that. And I just remember his face, and I feel it in my heart when I say this. He puts his head down and he starts sobbing. He's calling me a disgrace. He's telling me that I let down the family. I'm the black sheep. I never listen. I just made the biggest mistake of my life. All the worst things that I never wanted to hear, but I had to hear them. I had to hear those things, and I'll tell you why. That's exactly what I needed to create enough urgency in me to go and show my dad that I made that right choice. And after all the family reunions, going to my family, seeing my cousins, everybody saying, Matt, what's wrong with you? Why did you drop out of school? When are you going to go back? When are you going to quit this entrepreneurship thing? When are you going to go and find a real job? All my friends saying the same thing, right? People talking behind my back. All of that stuff in the first year. As soon as I did that and dropped out of school, everybody starts looking at you different. But let me tell you something. Everybody thought the same thing about Gates. Everybody thought the same thing about Jobs and Zuck. And look at where these dudes are now. They didn't give a shit about what other people thought about them. So I took that same approach. At least I tried to. It was pretty hard. But that year, from January when I dropped out to the next January, I made more money than what my 4-year degree would have paid me. After spending thousands of dollars in school, after spending all that time, all that money, all that energy, I made more money with my own 2 hands, selling, figuring things out, working, teaching myself, than what school was gonna pay me. So they say something. They say, this is from Think and Grow Rich. They say self-education pays you a fortune, formal education pays you a living. Okay? Now, I'm not a hater of school, like I said. But that decision to drop out and go and chase my dream is exactly what got me into the position that I am today. Since then, I've found some amazing partners. We're building a team right now. We've taken some of the things that we've learned in finance and we're applying it to online and e-commerce. And we have a mission of changing lives all across North America. And it's just something that's grown into more than what I could have ever manifested. And I truly believe that if you follow your heart, good things will happen. If you have good intentions, good things will happen. And so that's why I dropped out of college, all right? I'm not saying that everybody should, but I'm saying that if you can sit down with yourself, and ask yourself honestly, is what I'm doing right now making me happy? If you can answer yes to that, then keep staying on that path. Keep staying on that path. But if there's something deep down, right? Maybe up until this point, up until this video, you haven't been willing to admit it to yourself. I give you permission. I give you permission to explore that and find out what it is. If you are unsettled and there's something bigger that is screaming inside of you, I encourage you, find the will inside of yourself to go against what everybody is going to tell you, because they will, and pursue that dream. You can always go back. You can always start something new. We have so much time on our hands, right? Like Gary Vee says, you can be 40 years old and start a new life. Okay, so many of us, we're young. We're in our 20s, we're in our 30s. We're putting so much pressure on ourselves to figure it out. Let me tell you, you can try 100 things and fail and still go back to that same thing that you're doing right now. All right, that's the episode today. I want to know what you thought. I want to know if this helped you in any way. I want to know your story. Have you dropped out of college? Are you in college? What's your plan? What's your vision? Shoot me a comment in the comments below. Give it a like. Make sure that you subscribe it, share it to your friends, put it on your other platforms. We're going to grow a cool ass community here. Thank you once again, everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you want to see more content like this on entrepreneurship, on lifestyle, on money, on health, on living the good life, on how to elevate to excellence, let's make sure we get connected with each other on all platforms. My main channel is Instagram. Shoot me a follow and a DM. Share this content with your friends. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. You can find me in the links below. And let's be sure to get connected. Thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful week. God bless you now. Bye.